Aquarius, what's good? This is a reading only meant for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Ascending. If you are none of those things, you can politely. Damn, you can't swear in the first couple of seconds, but you can leave. I mean, I just don't fuck with cross watchers. It's really not that hard to understand why I don't fuck with cross watchers and why I don't like stalkers. It's really not that hard, right? So I don't think I have to go into the explanation of that. But this is for, like I said, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Ascending. That's what we're reading for. That's it. So, Aquarius, I did write down a couple of messages for y'all. I did some channeling. We're going to be using this beautiful acid wash deck. It's called The Tarot by Oliver Hebert. If you're wondering what, because everyone keep asking me what this deck is called, so that's what it's called. All right, the first thing we pick up on is a little bit of jealousy. Okay, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of saltiness. I mean, who isn't really jealous of Aquarius at this point? Because y'all be in your like individualist mode where you don't really give a fuck about anyone or anything right now. And that's a trigger for a lot of folks. So a lot of the codependent people, you can see them acting up because they trigger by, you know, you just taking space for yourself. You just breathing for yourself. The fact that you are able to do things by yourself is a trigger for them. So I'm just letting you know, right? So first message for Aquarius: fear over love. That's what they want. So they want you to be scared of them or scared of making mistakes, right? They don't want you to feel love or attachment, or maybe they don't want to feel love or attachment, but there's definitely fear there, right? They want to instill fear within you, fear that you're going to walk out on the relationship, or fear that you're looking at other directions. It's like a lot of manipulation, right? A lot of jealousy, nasty ass energy, right? So the next one is: I changed his or her life forever. Okay. And that's pretty self-explanatory, right? I changed his or her life forever. Pretty self-explanatory. Go someplace to be nobody, okay? Or move someplace new to be nobody, to become nobody. You might live in a very small area, and even if you don't, you might be very well known. You couldn't like have this specific group of people, friends, family, romantic interests, whatever. Like you could have just a group that you associate with, where you're kind of feeling like you want to lean out or lean off of this shit. Like I see you weaning away from them a little bit because you're starting to recognize the toxic patterns of certain connections. Here's another message: take off the mask. It's ugly as fuck. That one's I think my favorite one in this. Take off the mask. It's ugly as fuck. The next one is: I'll be as petty as I need to be. Okay. The next one is: it's done and over with. Duality in unethical and deceitful ways. Public hazing. Becoming embarrassed because somebody makes fun of you in public or someone bullies you in public. Love is different in the mind of a child. Okay. Love is different in the mind of a child. Three-way. You and your partner and their second personality. Can't keep track of time. Alright, we'll talk about these messages as we kind of go on here. I wanted to start out with shuffling a little bit and get a feel for the energy. So, I mean, instantly, we're kind of getting this vibe of Aquarius is kind of shutting down shop for a little bit, right? There is almost like a mechanical way or means to your actions right now, where if you just shut yourself out and shut yourself down, you start acting like a automaton, the robot type shit. You feel like that is more comfortable than confronting, okay? Than the confrontational shit. For whatever reason, whether you're sick of confrontation or you plainly just don't like confrontation, you're really, really hesitant to like wake back up. Okay, you're in dissociation mode, full on dissociation. I can see that there is a lot of problems when it comes to just family dynamic. Not getting along with your family, or like not getting along with the leader of the family. You might be the leader of the family as well, so there's control issues for sure there. This could also be relationship things, right? Romantic things. What else are we dealing with? Okay, the Tower in the reverse. Okay, so not being able to rest until you get something done or until you achieve something, that's also a problem. You guys not being able to take a fucking break for once. You guys not being able to sit down and like actually think about the process before, like, ahead of time. You might know where you're going, right? You might know exactly where you're heading to, but there's not a clean process yet that you worked out in your mind. And so as a repercussion of that, it seems like you're, balancing paycheck to paycheck or having to be really careful with your finances because you're not taking the right amount of risk yet in what you do for work or what you want to do. Okay, so you're very, really, like, exhausted. You're fucking exhausted. You feel afraid to stop, if that makes sense. You're just very afraid to stop. Ace of Swords in the reverse. Okay. Territorial, okay? Territorial. You're very, very territorial right now, or your partner is very territorial over you. I feel like this is more of a flaw than it is helping you in any type of way. I feel like just because someone is territorial, it doesn't mean they're supportive. This could be your mother. They're talking about energy that is very protective of you, but also doesn't allow you the room to breathe, the space to, like, become just yourself, individualistic shit, where you always have to be thinking about everybody else while you're also trying to do all of these things for yourself, right? So you include everyone in on the journey, even though they may not be that supportive. You understand what I mean? And here's another thing that's been happening more recently, and then we'll move on to more news about March. But there is a disconnect between you and your intuition, or a disconnect between you and spirit. It feels like it's an on and off thing, where your faith right now might be dwindling, or like your faith has been reawakened, when in the past you felt very, very disconnected, like you couldn't reach out to your guides, you couldn't see or feel what you needed to see and feel in order to move ahead in your spiritual journey. So now we're kind of in this process of, like, relearning how to come in contact with the people that loved you, okay, the support, the real blood type shit, okay? Blood is thicker than water. I picked that up too. But the people that are there for you, hands down, the guides, okay? The people who have already passed away, they've already lived their lives. It's the real ones, okay? They got your back. The living ones might not even fuck with you like that, okay? Remember, if they didn't fuck with you in life, they certainly not fucking with you in death. That also is a factor, right? Let's see. Oh, okay. Some of y'all came out with some life-changing information. That, or I feel like you just been going through these experiences of heartbreak, and it's possible that heartbreak includes the death of somebody, the sickness, ailments. It's like it's a lot of depression. It's a lot to handle within one small span of time. You might have even gotten this information last month, or maybe even recently this week, where this is something that's going to might cause a little bit of a mental breakdown. Okay, might cause just a little bit of a mental breakdown. I feel like you almost are designed to you're designed to be cold towards these types of situations just on the basis of your own family, right? Your family told you, don't fucking cry, don't be a bitch, be strong, be strong, be strong, be strong. I feel like this toxic cycle of be strong, don't be afraid, don't do this, don't be that, don't do that, don't be this way, don't be that way. That control issue, it's gonna hit you like right where it needs to, right in the motherfucking head. Okay, right in the head. They need to wake you the fuck up, basically. Okay, it's like a lot of emotional disconnect for you, and they're trying to be like, hey, like, maybe you shouldn't dissociate during these moments, because you need to be there for your family, or need to be there for, this new upcoming maybe traumatic experience. You need to be there. You need to be present in your life. They're asking you to look for some source of validation, right? Validation of your emotions and of your space, and just being, you don't need to be afraid of anymore to state your what you believe in, what you think about certain situations. So maybe you've been struggling with communicating with your family, struggling with communicating that you want things to change within y'all's dynamic, within y'all's communication. You might be struggling with, actually, you have a pretty strong, some of y'all have pretty strong personality, so you might be struggling with using the right words. Okay. Yeah, justice in the reverse. Nothing ever gets done because nobody is ever able to communicate in a positive way. It's always a back and forth, or like a guilt trip type thing. A guilt trip, or like just aggression. Okay, yeah, it's aggression. So I think recently you've been holding a lot of shit to your chest too, like what you truly think. What you truly think about your partners, your romantic endeavors, the Empress and the Upright. I mean, you can't really be like, okay. So when you're dealing with a borderline abusive person, or when you're dealing with a controlling person who edges more towards abusive, you're not allowed to, like, singularly, like, if it makes sense, this person always tries to pull every single stop in order to get you to stop thinking about yourself. It's almost as if this person has like a we together type thing, where they always have to include you in on their bullshit, and then like they always want to be included on your bullshit. I'm trying to make it make sense in my head, because what I see here is like a very clear like cling, right? It's codependency wholeheartedly. It's something that can be very, very intoxicating, and it just has like this automatic pull for you, where you're kind of stuck going back and forth with this individual. You're not allowed to deal with things alone, right? That's a problem. That's, like I said, borderline abusive, because you are an individual. You should be allowed to have your own space, your own thoughts. But this person always wants to change that about you. Queen of Swords, they want to change that. They want to, like, basically cut you open and dissect you and make sure that you have their best interest. But that's, like I said, it's exhausting. Look, it's fucking exhausting. It's tiring as shit. Let me turn this fucking light down a little bit so y'all can actually see. It's tiring as fuck. Okay? Very, very exhausting. I think a lot of you guys worked really hard for this relationship too. Really hard to like benefit this individual and like to have equality within a relationship, but it's almost designed to fail, because you guys need a certain amount of freedom, and if that's not given to you, like you're not yourself no more. Okay, you don't even feel like a person no more, right? It's like taken away from you. I could feel like you're almost like a dog or an accessory, like you're an accessory to this person, is what they're saying. Like you're a dog or a cat or something like that to this person, right? They don't think of you like a human being, or don't even treat you that way. They don't give you that luxury. This could, like I said, family, romance, it could apply anywhere you need it to lie. Okay. Now, when it comes to the work endeavors, I can see a couple of changes happening. Now, it does look good. It does look like some of you guys have finally stepped up to the plate when it comes to asking for that raise, asking for a different job or a different position that's higher paid. You're paying a lot more attention to the corrupt higher ups around you. You're paying a lot more attention to the discipline factor within the workplace, like who's getting disciplined and who isn't. I feel like some of you guys have been under really harsh criticism as of late when it comes to your work. It might be also a case of like, you're being mistreated because you have one difference within a workplace, and it might be the color of your skin. It could be your thoughts about religion. It could be spirituality. You could be just being ostracized and bullied because of particular things about you. Okay, it's one particular thing that they're very triggered by, right? And regardless of all of this, Ace of Cups, you kind of just kept your heart open to the experience. Okay, like I feel like a genuine, like it's meant to teach you a lot. It's meant to teach you patience. Okay, so even though it's been a really really rough go at things, like it's just meant to teach you patience. The Lovers in the upright. Some of y'all have kind of fallen in love with this idea of being worshipped or looked at in a higher position. It's like dominant, right? You like that dominant control of things. You like the workplace to be able to like flourish with your guidance. You give people creative freedom that they usually wouldn't get, unless they had someone like you in their life, right? You give people creative freedom. The Sun in the upright, yeah, people are happy to work with you. There's some if you are the one that is teaching and guiding people through this process, then they love you. Okay, they appreciate you. Some of y'all get really really mad when people don't like you. They talking about romance now again, so they bounced it back to romance and said you get really pissed off when people don't like you. Or it's like you want to try to make people like you. So you might even lie, or I don't know if it's lie or just like pretend that you're someone else entirely. Like you almost pretend to be someone with no backbone, right? Because I can see that right here. Like they be talking about your backbone. They talking about, okay, Temperance in the upright, your balance and your backbone, your stability, your commander in chief type knowledge, where you're very very controlling at times. And they're like, why are you pretending not to be, right? It's like some of these people are looking for direction and guidance, so why would you pretend to be a fucking softie? Why would you pretend to be there, right? That just make no fucking sense. That's basically what they're saying. Let's see what else we got. Some of y'all deal with a lot of individuals who struggle with mental illness. I think you've seen it in your family. You've seen it in your workplace. You've seen it amongst your partners. You've seen it within some of your closest friends. You deal with a lot of people that have problems with their mental. They can't get their head on straight. As a repercussion, right, you might not feel like the most stable person right now, okay, because you're being projected onto. So you're sitting here offering people help, and basically they're not willing or able to take it. So I don't want to you're wasting time, right? Like I'm trying to understand what you're doing here. You're wasting time. King of Wands. Okay. So for some reason I pick up on this, for better or for worse, or this like situation where it's like marriage, right? It's a marriage, it's stability, it's bliss, and then all of a sudden it just all goes to shit. It's all a lie. It's all like, so, you know, you fell in love with a person, you fell in love with everything about them, and then internally for you, it's like you lied to yourself. Okay? Did you lie about what you saw out of this person? Lie about the red flags, or try to cover that shit up, wipe that shit away, and say, you know, oh, this person's all clean, they're all good, I'm gonna go ahead with this connection, I'm gonna go ahead with this situation, I have faith. I have faith that God or whoever has led me in the right direction towards the right person. It's like, did you really put complete faith in outside forces when you're meant to kind of have a handle on your life? You are an Aquarius. You're meant to be rebellious. You're meant to be intuitive but structured. Okay? You're meant to be hard-headed as fuck. So the fact that you like just kind of threw all cares out the window, all you know, all actual logical thought out the window is kind of crazy to me. That's we haven't done an Aquarius reading in a minute, and I can see why maybe I steered away from y'all just for a second, because there's been a lot of drama going on within y'all's characters. And I'm just critiquing, okay? I am a pretty critical person. I'm not trying to make y'all feel like, you know, awkward or anything like that. Just because you're having issues and problems with your temperament, okay, you don't know where you're at right now. You're kind of panicking. You're lost as fuck. I'm meant to be here to be that guide. Okay. I'm gonna try out a different deck real quick to see if we can get a handle on this crazy ass energy. Ten of Scarabs and Ace of Scepters in the upright. Okay. Fear of committing to something that can last you a lifetime, and it's not a relationship. I feel like this is mental help. I feel like this is therapy. I feel like this is getting mental help or help with your health. This is a big fear of you, like for you. This is a huge fear. Okay. Losing control of your body, of your faculties, of a person at times. It can be like family. Losing control of that structure is terrifying. It really is. That's why I feel y'all are so fucking sensitive right now. Because you're spiraling out of control, out of helplessness, out of desperate feelings and emotions, depression. Like, you're so sensitive. And that's, I think that's not really being accepted by others around you. I just feel like there's people around you right now that are treating you like they usually treat you, which is just, you know, Aquarius is this strong, hardy individual, lots of fucking stamina, they're a know-it-all, they're, you know, they're, it's a bunch of, it's like they don't see you as a human, right? That's kind of what's weird about it. They don't see you as a human. Like, I almost don't even feel like I'm talking to human beings right now, but low-key, y'all are aliens, right? Y'all are aliens. But I'm just saying, like, I don't even feel like I'm talking about a human being when I'm looking at these people's perspectives. Let's see what they see you as. I'm curious. What do they see you as? Scribe of Scepters. Okay. They talk about, like, wild lion, wild boar. Like, you're someone who has no chill, no qualms about anything. Like, you can either be the worst person to bump into or the best person to bump into. You have almost no, like, dynamic control. So what does that mean? When you're dealing with somebody of a, you know, similar personality, you're not able to calm your ego. Okay? You're not able to, like, settle down and chill out with that ego shit. So that's how people are viewing you. They view you as, like, an egotistical monster. But what are they? Four of Swords. They're lazy. The reason why you are the driving force behind a lot of these relationships, the reason why you're demonized or looked at like, you know, the worst enemy, the antagonist, is because they're fucking lazy. They won't live life for themselves. They won't follow through with their own shit. So as kind of like as a help or a guide or something like that, you like to reach out your hand and like kind of give them a push, right? But what you're doing, this is a mistake. You're pushing them off the edge. So you're telling them to change something they can't change because it feels like they're losing their life to you. You understand what I mean? I think it's, you like to give people quality, like you like to give people a quality sets of advice, right? You like to give them quality sets of advice. And when they're not listening to you, at times you can be very, very, very controlling and pushy. Because you're dealing with people who cannot handle that type of communication, you're going to see them essentially make you into the bad guy. You are the devil and the demon to these people. Okay? And you might have to walk away because that's where things get rough. That's where things get hard. That's where things get borderline abusive. Okay? Borderline abusive, where neither of you are allowed to live your actual life without criticizing and hurting each other. So now you got to go. You have no choices. You have no options. You have to leave. You have to go. You cannot stay. That is what they're saying. That you have absolutely no options in this situation. Okay? Once you move on, once you roll the dice and move on, you're going to see a lot more avenues within work open up and moving. Because most of you are trying to move location. Most of you don't want anything to do with this old house or this old life or these old people or this old car. You want to just scrap everything and start over. Okay? You don't want this shit no more. It's been done. You've been over it. Some of the hardest things to understand about moving or leaving a location where you have a lot of trauma is that you have to deal with you're mourning those situations. I know it sounds fucked up when you say that, right? When it's like, okay, well, I have mad PTSD in these areas from these people. They tortured me. They treated me like shit. They didn't appreciate me at all. They didn't give me anything that I wanted or needed at the time. They weren't supportive of my life or my journey, right? But what's fucked up is that you have to mourn that. Those feelings, those emotions. You have to mourn them still. Almost as if you cared about them. Right? Because you cared what they thought. You made your whole entire life centered around what they wanted and needed from you. You followed through like a brainless, mindless fucking zombie. And it gave you nothing in return. No respect, no boundaries, no support, no nothing. You stayed the bad guy. You stayed the black sheep. Okay? And you stayed hurting. You couldn't have changed yourself in any type of way in order to make the situation any better. So you might still, if you've already moved on, you might still be mourning the situation. That, or you're going to be really fresh into it, right? Because you're trying to literally physically move, majority of you. And this is rough. This is real rough. Let's see. I think that you do have somebody in your energy who's very sneaky, very manipulative, very controlling. It could be a water sign, could be a fire sign. It's somebody who considers you to be a friend, or says that you're a friend, says that you're a best friend. Some says that you are like family. Let's back up there, right? Because if you're supposedly their family, why do they treat you like you're a fucking money bank, right? Why do they treat you like you're a place to, three hots on a cot type situation? Why do they treat you like you're a bank? You're their emotional bank, so you're like to them, you're like a public toilet. They piss all over you, they shit all over you, they talk shit behind your back. But then you're their best friend, you're meant to be their family, you're meant to be their guide, you're meant to be everything, right? Something's not adding up. Something's not adding up. That's interesting. Very, very fucking interesting. You're not paired. So when you be low-key feeling this person talk shit, is your intuition is crazy right now, by the way, Aquarius. So you be really emotional, but you can still sense the facetiousness, the nasty shit. You're not wrong when you say this person is a load in a crock of shit. You are not wrong. Okay? You are not wrong when you say this person is codependent, when you say that they're a hoe, when you say that they're fake as a motherfucker. You're not wrong. Okay? I want you to confirm that. You might not have seen clear evidence, right? They might deny clear evidence, but you're not wrong when you call this person out for being fake. That is the truth. That is the truth. They're fake as fuck. What I saw in my head was like the mannequin challenge. Like, this bitch is a whole walking, talking mannequin. They are a puppet. Okay? They don't even, it's the type of shit where they don't even have a soul. And even when they act like they care about someone, you can never take them seriously. It's because the way that they speak, the way that they communicate. They don't fucking love you. They don't appreciate you. You're not special to them. You don't feel that way. You can't trust them. You can't trust them. Same about dealing with a Scorpio. Like I said, a water sign. What else we got? So I said love. So I wrote down love is different in the mind of a child, and basically what I meant by that is, we view love from from different spectrums when we're dealing with shit at home as a kid, right? We view love as, sometimes it's pain, sometimes it's control, sometimes it's hard work. It's very misconstrued because our parents teach us a certain aspect that needs to be untaught later down the line. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the same type of fucking failed marriage or shitty experience within romance, or, you're going to end up with 12 baby daddies and the whole nines, right? So, I mean, right now, what you need to be focusing on in the romantic aspect is looking back and unlearning what your parents taught you. If you still live with your parents or around your parents or still have conversations with your parents, you should take a break. Okay? Because essentially what you need to do is go backwards. It's starting back in order to move 10 steps forward, right? You go 2 steps back and end up moving so far. Like, I don't think you understand what I'm saying right now. You're not wrong for wanting love, for wanting romance, for wanting marriage, for wanting full-on commitment. You're not wrong for wanting to be with your best friend. You're not wrong for wanting these things. What's wrong is your mind. The way your mind thinks about these things subconsciously, okay? The way people are able to manipulate and use you, because instead of being vulnerable, right, you might be a victim. And that's hard to admit. You're a victim, okay? You're a product of. We talking about some real shit. So those of you that just had a mental breakdown, they have messages for you guys specifically. Because some of you just got through a mental breakdown or just had one like yesterday type shit. Okay. So the reason why you kind of gotten checked back, the reason why the universe has kind of put you in this position of like, okay, you were too egotistical and we're going to mute you. We're going to shut you the fuck up. All your friends are going to leave you. All your family's going to leave you. All your kids are going to leave you. Everyone's going to just stop talking to you. The reason why that had to happen is for you to see what you were doing to others. Okay, what type of projections you were putting out on others. You had to separate yourself in order to know the difference between love and tolerance. Okay, love and tolerance. So the reason why you had that mental breakdown, the reason why everyone cut you off or distanced themselves, it's more or less to power you forwards and make you feel secure in yourself, make you feel confident. Because that's been something that you struggle with for your whole entire life, and especially right now. Okay. Some of you come from those really, really dark, nasty backgrounds where you have the daddy issues, the mommy issues, a lot of sexual issues happening right now, like where you're reliving those experiences 24/7 every time you have sex with somebody. That's why some of y'all got caught up in the whole sex addiction type thing. You can't help but to hate people. Some of y'all. This is a real dark read. I might have to redo this eventually. I think I'm just uncomfortable because the energy right now that I'm channeling is just not a positive one. It's not like there's no conclusion almost, right? It's dark. And usually I'm good at reading dark shit, but as we kind of edge towards the more talking about the parental shit, talking about what was done to you as a child, talking about what might be reoccurring within your life right now with your own kids. That's where I kind of like have to draw the line, I think. Because that shit is dark. Very, very dark. Yeah, I might have to stop this reading. Let's see if we can come up with anything that's going to happen in March as a positive. Maybe we'll read from that aspect. A lot of y'all dealing with some trauma and you need a fucking therapist. For real. You do. Not a joke. It's not a joke. Let's see. We'll try this reading again, I think, in a couple of days and see where it goes. But let's see about March. What's happening good? What's happening good in March? Okay, in March, I can see some manifestation here that pops up for you. So you end up getting some sort of a ticket or something like that. So they're talking about a ticket to move, ticket on a flight, some type of travel. Some of you guys are traveling for a work endeavor, new work. You're looking for new work, or you're looking to start your own business. That's going to happen. Okay, that's happening in March. Some of y'all are looking for a baseline when it comes to therapy, when it comes to talking to somebody medically. Some of you guys are having medical issues that will get solved in March as well. Some of y'all, it's family members having medical issues. Like I said, that will you'll see the difference between you here, right, like right now currently, and you in March is that you're actually able to process things emotionally. Right now, the reason why I can't get a direct read on y'all is because the emotions are scattered. They're all over the fucking place. Okay? Like, all over the fucking place. They just don't make sense. Like, I'm trying to make logical sense of something that just don't make fucking sense right now. Because it's bouncing all over the fucking place. Alright? What good things are coming? They said stay excited for what? Stay excited for what? They keep, who up in this bitch is negative as a motherfucker? I feel like we keep dealing with somebody who has like a major abusive marriage or something like that. And that might be your situation, but like that's kind of taking over the whole fucking reading. We can't get something solid out this bitch. I might have to maybe film one that isn't live. That might be what I have to do. Film one that isn't live. Because someone is taking over this whole entire reading with some real fucked up shit. And like I said, I understand that you're dealing with something fucked up, but whew, it's time to move on, babe. It's time to move on. Take a break from tarot, maybe. Stop watching tarot for just a second so you can get yourself focused. Because listening to something that you already know over and over and over and over again will not help you. It will not help you. I can't tell you a different perspective or other than what you already know. That's where you go to a therapist. That's their job. I'm going to give y'all Oracle deck pull anyways. Even though we kind of couldn't get a positive read on y'all. Let's see. By the way, y'all, I'm an Aquarius. So this is why I'm a little shocked and confused at what's happening right now. Because I can't relate to this at all. I'm trying to feel it out. Alright. Might be a March thing, too. What's y'all's messages? Devastation and wholeness. This is the same card that Gemini got. Maybe we should find some of those. Let's see. What's the next card? Skill. Okay. 30. Alright. So your first card is Amut. God of hell in the afterlife. Hybrid figure of a lion, crocodile, and hippopotamus, which devours the souls and hearts of those who made mistakes in life. Excessive pride, presumption, greed, eagerness for conquest. Amut represents the consequences of past mistakes. You may face drastic change in the elimination of the lifestyle you were used to, or a crisis with your partner, or a painful breakup with the consequent collapse of your defenses. But everything can be resolved if you reflect as soon as possible on the solutions to bring about a positive change. You can give rise to a totally new recovery. Change your perspective and take up new positions. And your next one. Ptah. God and patron of craftsmen and architects, as well as knowledge and know-how. He is an engineer, bricklayer, blacksmith, and artist. He is depicted as a mummified man with a beard, holding an ankh scepter in the symbol of life, in the staff of power, a symbol of stability. Ptah provides with the state of effortless concentration. Bringing you the lightness and familiar skill, he will make it easy for you to perform all manner of operations. Under his influence and through serene objectivity, you have the chance to transform your work into play and develop the power of mental development. The ability to transform things, or the capacity to awaken passions but also dominate them. Aquarius, this was a wild ass fucking reading. I don't even, for the past 40 minutes, I don't even know what the fuck I just said. I'm gonna be honest with you. So we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this energy. I'm gonna wait a couple of days and see if things shift over and change. I just think it's because once there's one person up in here dealing with a very traumatic situation, and just as a circumstance, it's kind of made the energy a little wonky. I'm not mad at that person necessarily. Obviously, if you're going through something that's really deep and dark, that's a part of your process. But because you clicked on this particular reading, you're also mixing and melding with other people's. So you can't just control and dominate and project, right? You have to learn that not everything here is going to match and meld with your life, and you have to be okay with that shit. So that's why I'm gonna just hang up the hat and hope that this came across all right. We'll see where you're at in a couple of days. I'll do a reading that is not live. All right, Aquarius, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and I hope, like I said, I hope that you did learn something from this reading. If not, there is going to be another reading coming up soon. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.